Hello, 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 family. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody is well. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. And also, we appreciate the ones that will join a little later today. I know it's kind of early in the States, so we do appreciate everybody that does tune in, even though we're not live when you come in. We appreciate you for even taking the time out to come in. We have our guests. We have a couple of guests again today, and we're still going to try to really focus on the mental health part of moving abroad. And the title today is how did living in America prepare you to move abroad? How did that prepare you? And that's what we're going to talk about. And we're still going to always concentrate on the mental health part of it because that's the important part of it. The mental health to make sure that everybody is keeping it where it needs to be. And if we need a little therapy, we do believe in therapy on this side. So and
Right.
sometimes we need it. Right. And if you need it, we need to go and get it. Okay. But we are just wanting to invite our guests in, and we want you guys to just tell a little bit about yourselves, about your ministry, and then we're going to go with the questions, and then we're going to move on. And hopefully, we won't be here all day. We're going to try to do an hour, as we always try to keep it short and sweet because our people, we get kind of bored and be like, okay, what do we dragging it on? So we just gonna try to stick with an hour. But the question I get again is how did living in America prepare you for living abroad? Miss Lorraine, how are you? I'm gonna let
I'm
you
doing,
introduce yourself and your ministry. Okay,
yes,
tell us
absolutely.
a little bit about you.
My name is Lorraine
My name
Brown,
is Lorraine
and I have
Brown,
Graceful
and I
Guidance
have Graceful
Ministries
Guidance
that the Lord
Ministries
has
that the
birthed
Lord
out
has
of my own
birthed
personal
out of my own
testimony
personal
of being a
testimony
mom
of
with
being
special
a mom with
needs,
special needs,
two sons with special
two
needs,
sons with special needs,
and then
and
also
then also
working with women in
working with
transitional
women in transitional
situations like
situations
homelessness
like
and
homelessness
recovery.
and recovery. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. All right, Pastor. So can you
Okay.
guys hear us? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was adjusting. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, sorry about that. That's fine.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, we're Al and
Well, we're out and
Cheryl Bowman.
Real moment.
We are
We are
transitioning from
transitioning from
life
life
ministries to faith
ministry to faith,
four
four
corners
corners
that we're starting here in
that we're
Mauritius.
starting here in Mauritius.
We're still in
We're
the
still
building
in
phase
the building phase
as far as
as far
web
as web
connecting our
connecting
YouTube,
our YouTube,
but we are
but we are
definitely
definitely
y'all led
y'all led
and happy
and
to
happy to
be a part
be a
of
part of
ministry,
ministry.
happy to move
Happy
our feet
to move our
forward,
feet forward,
also
also
lead
lead
others
others
forward,
forward,
position
position
for the
for
rest
the
of
rest
the remnant,
of the
all full
remnant, all full
universe. For
universe.
us, it's all
For us,
about
it's all about
at the table
at the
and
table
creating
and
a round
creating
table,
a round
meaning
table, meaning
a person isn't the head
person
of an
isn't the head of an
effort together
together
collectively.
collectively.
Christ is in the
Christ
center of
is
that.
in the center of that.
Our Yeshua
Our
HaMashiach.
Yeshua HaMashiach. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Pastor, your turn. Are we ready for the questions?
You're ready.
You're ready. All righty. All righty. Well, first question is now you've Pastor, I know you served in the service in the military. Um, how is it leaving the place that you spent time making safe? How does that make you feel that you actually had to leave the place that you spent half of your life, a long part of a big part of your life making safe? How does that make you feel?
Well,
Well,
I feel
I
blessed
feel blessed
to be able
to be
to
able to
and have all the
and have
necessary
all the
tools
necessary tools
to lead.
to need to lead.
Um, it does
It does
answer my heart to
answer my
lead
heart to lead
because I'm a born
because I'm a
leader and
born leader and
an instructor.
an instructor.
The last part of my
The last part
career
of my career
I spent
I
at
spent
Parris
at
Island,
Parents Island,
South Carolina, training with young men and women to go to Desert Storm. So I put my heart and soul into it because I knew that the skills they learned there would have to use in combat. So I wanted to make sure that they were prepared the best they could be. And I believe God put me in that position to do that. I was considered the top 3% shooters in the military. So I poured out my blood and sweat and tears day and night to train to be able to protect themselves and their fellow brothers and sisters. Even though I had to leave, a little bit of me is still in the States. And that's the passion part, the caring part, the that if I'm not saying if there will be a draft. Once the draft is done, I could actually see myself going back into the military in a training capacity. Because that's where my heart is in saving lives and protecting lives. Now, God prepared me here to be a pioneer and to start off through fishing, hunting, and gathering. Things that we as family and a community would need someone to be able to train and help everyone else who don't possess those skills. So we would have to be able to survive financially on our own. And I believe God prepared me to do that. So I guess that's it in a nutshell. I'm ready. God said, "Who's willing to go?" And I raised both hands. So I'm prepared. I'm prepared for the challenge.
You are brave.
But I think, when we were talking about as far as how you feel, I remember, he expressed a little disappointment with how our government is going, the change of the integrity of everything.
But yeah, I'm not gonna go deep into that. I'm not gonna shame our government. I'm not gonna say anything negative about it.
Right.
Keep praying for them.
All I do is, well, God tells us to pray for the government and those in charge. So I'm gonna always continue to pray. So, but I mean, in reality, what on this planet is politically correct and doing everything right for the people? I don't think it's any. We all fall short. That includes governments. Jesus is the only one and can hold the government up on his according to the scriptures.
Okay. Well, even with that, how do you think you and Lorraine, you can answer this too. How do you think living in America prepared us for this move here? Was it, what could you take from America? And that's going to be another question. What could you take from America and bring it here and build on it? So how do you think living in America prepared you to come here? and all of what you did in your training, Miss Lorraine, even in your training, Pastor, how did that prepare you for what you're doing right now? Or do you think they have prepared us at all? Or would you have done different? Or what training could they have done more or better? Or you know, you guys understand the question? What I'm trying to
Mhm.
say? Okay.
Well, I mean, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Miss Lorraine.
That's okay. I think it depends on what you're skilled in.
Mhm.
Um, and what I'm finding in my experience is just because you're skilled in something doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work in this culture.
That's right.
Because this isn't America. So, but it doesn't mean that the skills aren't going to be needed at some point. At least some knowledge of something. I'm not God. I think He has a bigger plan to unfold that we're still yet waiting on. But I think Americans, even though there's a lot of things that have been watered down, and the generations, in my humble opinion, aren't as strong as they used to be. I still think that we have. I don't want to use the word spirit in that it means like a spiritual biblical matter, but we have heart. We do. We do. And even when we're visiting with each other out in the community here, I can see that. And that heart has come here, of wanting to do something different, make change, and walking in obedience and however the Lord told you to come here and what He's telling you to do while you're here.
Mhm. I think answer your question, Cass. Some of the things that I even gathered again, the flows that we're wanting to do with Four Corners is that when you think about it, America, so many different people from all over the place. So some of the things that I learned here is that when you look at other cultures in America, you think America is such they were a community. They helped each other up, and they know it started meeting. They started creating. They worked that together, and that's one of the things I'm like, if we learned anything, we saw how you get together and you're bringing in others in the like mind, like we can do this. I was forward to do it like we wanted in America, but again, that very we can implement that very same thing that we watched and that we saw so many in America, the other from America, we saw them, so we can take the same and definitely do it here and anywhere else.
Mhm. Mhm. So coming here, mental wise, um, what are you seeing that because for me, I'm looking and I look out and I see things that we could actually that's very much needed in this this island. Um, so, but it's a lot, it's a lot because I do believe that it's a little bit behind America, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much. How do you get to the place where you are horning in on what part is your part? Because there's so many different pieces that need to be done. And it's like, oh my God, you could go to fixing, but how do you really, really determine, what area is the most important? Because all customer service is needed. You can go down the line. So you see it, you build it, and I do believe that when you see it's a missing service, it's time to build, right? But how do you really pinpoint, okay, I want to do blah, 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 or for you, mentally, how do you really get your mindset? Because it's a lot, I see, it's a lot that could be done. It's a lot that needs to be done. So it's like, oh my God, you look over here and it's something, you look over there and it's something, you go, oh my God, it's sometimes overwhelming because it is a lot,
Yeah.
so for you guys, how do because everybody has gifts, right?
Right,
So,
right, right.
right.
Lorraine actually said her when y'all come to personal your skill set. And again, I'm sorry, but when they round table, that means our your gifts and your gifts are someone else's gifts, and we bring each other's gifts together in the middle. When we see a project, somebody else might be administrative project, somebody is a visionary, who can draw out the blueprints. So we can take everybody together at one small bite, right? So we can pull together our resources, build, right? Get this done. And okay, cool. I see something else here. You think this? And if we can take it put one in front of the other, together collectively. No chiefs, but everyone around and their specialty. I feel like what can stop us? With Christ in the center. And that's again mental health, community support is a thing for mental health because you're not by yourself. Everything can be daunting and feel alone. But again, that's why we're left behind. Right? No sheep left behind. Let's talk it out. Let's come together. That's what's going to keep things together. If we're constantly going together, we us are not I, and elbow each other. And I'm going to be no. That is what you need. We need women's group. We need a collective group. We're going to have how I feel right now. This is how it is. And it's okay. God meets us where we are. So where we are.
Let me ask you guys something. It's a lag and it's breaking up a lot. It's coming up choppy. Go out
Okay.
and come back in, and then that
Okay.
way maybe it'll kind of regulate. Okay. So I do believe that Ms. Lorraine, did you answer that question? Lorraine, did you answer?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Did you hear the question or did you answer?
I did not.
Okay.
You don't have an internal happening.
There's a lot
The thing
here
of
that
it
I
is I
that
might
can be
need to
done.
put some headphones.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, it's a lot that I see that needs to be done here, and I do believe that the Most High makes room for our gifts. Um, but when you decide, to move into an area, if that is an area that He told you to operate in, but if, say, for instance, there's an area that He told you to operate in, right? But that area is just not opening up. How do you know that that's an area that He told you to operate in? You understand what I'm saying? Because I see some things and it's like, okay, I need to do this over here, but then you can look over here, you say, I need to do that over here, but then you hear Him say, okay, do this right here. How do you actually know, or how do you operate in that if that door is not opening? Is it timing? Is it maybe not timing? Or is that still a door He wants you to operate in?
Right.
Or because I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Am I asking
I
the right
do.
questions? I'm
I do.
Okay.
I'm finding too with my own personal journey that doesn't necessarily mean that God told us to operate in a certain area. I've been kind of trying to have my mind clear of what I think my agenda is. You know, I can bring my gifts and my talents here, but if some doors are closing, maybe I just need to sit with it. And God's doing something else. I think it can be timing. This is a very overwhelming experience, and I'm hesitant to say I need to be doing this, and I can see all these needs here in Mauritius, but really getting to know the Mauritians is best.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
And what they need is a culture. What are they like? You know, they're very traditional people. And I'm finding that I had some bright ideas, and it's not that they weren't necessarily from God and they were good ideas, but it doesn't mean it was a God idea.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
especially in the entrepreneurial area. That's not my thing. So I don't want to speak on to other people who that is their thing, but that's why I've kind of come off of really what I think this should all be about. You know, I've been revisiting the idea with the Father every single day. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What's pleasing? What will exalt you? What will lift you up? Not what's going to lift me up and exalt me.
Right. Right.
And you know, to your question, no doors have opened up for me here. And I've done everything that a person who has a business would do.
Okay.
So, you know, all of our situations are so different, as you know. There's so many of us in the group, and we're all in different places. We're quite eclectic.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it make you feel? Even
Say
what
that
you're saying
one more
about-
time.
How does that make you feel seeing what you just said about the doors? What do you think? What do you think he's saying? Even with that, because that might be somebody else that's here and they're saying, "Oh my God, that's the same thing is happening with me." How do you handle that?
Right.
You know?
For me personally, I've been doing a lot of fasting and praying on what he wants me to do, because what I believe he's putting on my heart is a little unconventional, and it is going against the grain from what everybody else is doing, but I'm trusting it because he made it very clear to me he wants me to trust him, not what other people say. And not the economy. And not a company, not what people have said or what they are saying, but trust him. And the example that he gave me was Elijah and the widow. And he, you know, we don't even trust in ingredients, right? Flour and oil. And so that's what he's been putting on my heart. And I'm just kind of going with the flow. And that to me takes more faith and strength than anything to do what God told you to do. And everybody else around you is like, you shouldn't do that, or I wouldn't do that, or whatever. I mean, the Bible's filled with examples of that, and it was still God's plan. So I'm seeing that as we're having more people come in, that, you know, I'm going, you know, we're not quite where things are unfolding yet. What is God really doing? And, you know, I'm just his daughter, so he doesn't have to tell me anything. Not right now. So I'm really going with the flow and taking each day at a time and being very, very careful about what I put my mouth on, what I receive, how much of what I receive, because, you know, the way the Father speaks to me, I need to be able to hear him. And so for me, I've just been in the Word and just waiting. It's just been a waiting game for me. And I think it's real easy to get caught up in, I'm going to build this whole new life and all this exciting adventure on Mauritius Island. And that's great if it continues to be in that place. But it's also the reality of this is that this is, for me personally, been excruciatingly hard and exhausting. And so this is, but yet on the other hand, I'm not stressed out in some areas that I would be in America. So it's kind of this give and take right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting with it, and I'm not trying to make anything happen or try to have my own agenda when God, like I said, I'll go back to great idea, but is it a God idea?
Right. Right. Because I think mentally we have to remain focused on our mental, because like we said, when we come in here, it's fun in the beginning, but then the mental part of it kicks in, after what, 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, and we're like, oh my God, we really did move. We really did leave everything. We really did leave everybody. And then other stuff starts kicking in. Well, man, I sure miss my family. I've missed my this and that. But how do we stay focused on what needs to be, even though that is the mental health going on? How do you still remain focused to stay put, and continue doing what you were called to do? Because sometimes we can miss family enough and kind of miss hearing what the Most High is really telling us, because we want what we want. That's just people, period. We want what we want. So, and sometimes we'll think that we're okay, we're in the right move and we're in the right vein and we're moving along, but then, still back here, we're hearing, okay, man, you're still thinking about your family. So how is it that you can stay focused, keep the mental straight, and still hear? Because sometimes that can get a little confusing for people, if they really don't understand what his will is and what it is he's really telling us to do. Anybody want to answer that?
Well, I think also too, that's assuming he's telling you to stay put. That's why
Okay.
we have to listen to him for ourselves, because I really feel he's giving a lot of people different directions right now. And I'm seeing a lot going on, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're hearing him wrong.
Okay.
Or that it's clouded, because it depends on what your reasons are for certain things. Because I'm going to hold that thought, but that's assuming that he's saying don't do anything but stay right there.
I'd like to chime in on that.
Okay. Please.
We as a village and a community that we're building here in Mauricia, we are all parts of the body of Christ. Someone's a hand, someone's an arm, just examples of body parts. We all have a part to play. God knows the body that He's shaping and forming, that He wants us to. And of course, that is the body. God is the potter. So He's molding us and shaping us to be the church bride for Christ, and be prepared for His return. I am, by the grace of God, I was trained military-wise. I have a degree in counseling. I am a faith-based counselor. We're called therapists. Since 2018. So I have experience marriage counseling, substance abuse counseling, mental health, suicide, drugs, alcohol, and basically God used me and can use me in that capacity because I've lived all of them and lived through all of them. So by coming here, our village, we're going to need mental health help in all different areas. Okay. So I am a person that God chose to be help in that area. And I think, myself also, I'm not Superman. I'm going to need help also. I'm going to need a gathering of like hearts, minds, and spirits. Not only my wife, but whoever else I get support. So by us coming together as a village, just like the church in Acts, first, nobody needed. They all helped each other, and so that tells me somebody in that church in that group had to have mental health experience because this was fresh for them. This was brand new. They had a lot of criticism, a lot of fighting to do because new Christians. So, they had to adjust and be able to live in society. So this is where we're going to have prayer, supplication, just like the children of Israel did at the Red Sea. Now, I know we've all seen the Red story. After all the miracles they saw God, and all of the miracles that we as a collective have seen God do in our lives, we know we follow prayer answering God. We follow a miracle working God. So when the children of Israel after all the 10 plagues and all the miracles they saw that God brought them through, they still feared Pharaoh. They still bickered, murmured amongst themselves. And what did Moses say? He said, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The enemy you see before you today, you will never see again." So this is what we have to do as a collective. We got to stand still and pray and wait on the salvation of the Lord. We came from a microwave society that everything was quick, fast, and in a hurry. We're here now in a relaxed environment, I believe, in a retirement environment, in a loving environment. God put in my heart the other night, I almost said, we as African Americans. That's the wrong statement. Yeah. We're not American. We're not in America anymore. Okay. We got the African part, but the American part we left behind. This is a new life, a new journey. Wow. So we need to do things different. Yeah. We need to learn the culture of the people, learn the language, and fit in where we can get in. And our skills as a collective, I believe, will help this island, will help the people in this island. We just have to remember it's business is supply and demand. There is a demand. And I believe God brought us here to be the supply. So if we just stick together, not that crab in the barrel mentality that we grew up in America, or chasing the Jones or being like the Joneses. No, we don't have to do that here. We don't have to beg, borrow, and steal, rob from Peter to pay Paul. Don't pay your car note today just to pay your rent tomorrow. No, we don't have to do that here. If someone is in need, God has provided that one of us or a few of us can step up and help, whichever way possible. Then when the time comes, we may need help too. Yeah. So who can we turn to? Who is my brother? Who is my mother? Who is my sister? Our village, or our new family. I have new sisters. I have new brothers. And we're in Christ, and we're going to do it right this time, I believe.
Yeah, we have an opportunity. I feel like we have a brand new opportunity to just start over And really truly, you brought up Acts to be like the disciples did. They were serving each other. We're too busy loving and serving and not just being about, the, I was about to say the dollar, the rupee, but putting love in front of it. Yes, business is important, but if we are too busy serving and loving, then again, my whole thing is this: at the round table, if one eats, we all eat. Everyone gets to eat, so.
Yeah. Yeah. More things have been brought about by prayer than the world has ever known. So as long as we keep praising, as God inhabits the praises of, and pray, I'm assured, and I can assure everyone else that God will take care of us.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's right.
And
He's not a man; he can't lie.
That's right. That's what he said. And we have to just trust that and believe that. But I
Yes.
also believe sometimes he can refocus you also, but we have to be ready for that. Meaning, if he brought you here and you're used to doing one thing, and if he transition you to do something else, we have to really be able to hear if he refocus that. Because sometimes we can get so used to going left and he'll switch it and tell you to go right and you still going left and you're out of sync now because you missed that call back there when he said, hey, turn right,
Yeah.
because we've been, that's why I get so to the point where I need to hear, because if he does switch that, I want to be able to hear, because we could still be going left and you should have
Yeah.
turned right, maybe what,
Yes.
5 blocks back. So now you got to go back to catch up to make that right turn, so that is where we are also mentally, to stay focused and to really get the healing, because I think we still need a lot of healing coming from where we came from. I think that, and I really wish that we did have a group where we did have psychologists, and, that we could actually make it, not mandatory, but, a weekly visit, or because I think that this is the time to heal, because that's what's very much needed now, even coming from where we came from. And I do believe that that is something, because I believe in therapy. I'm telling you, I will, I miss my therapist. I'm just saying. I do believe that that is something that needs to happen with the diaspora. It should be something that we do um, weekly, every 2 weeks or monthly or something, because
Mhm.
we have to begin to shake off America, because we can get to the point where we bring that here
Mhm.
and we could, it'll just be a miniature America right here in Mauritius, so we have to be very careful that we're not bringing that with us. Um,
Right.
and watching the mental, even if you see something, it's okay to tug on somebody's coattail and say, hey, I'm noticing blah blah blah, and that's what we should be able to do. That's what we should be doing. That's what we should be able to do. But we just have to stay focused and move the way we're supposed to on purpose,
Yes.
and make sure that we're focused and walking in what we need to, what we were put on this earth to walk into, you know. With that being said, what about like we talked about how we were prepared? What else do you think is needed here from the diaspora? What is the main focus, or what do you see that's needed here? Because you've been here, what, maybe 30 days, maybe 2 months already?
Little over 30 days.
A little bit over 30 days. What are you seeing from the small, short time that you've been here?
The language gap. That once we get down the Creole,
Yeah.
basically get away from English, English language, it's going to help tremendously. I've been in isolated parts of Japan, and I, I had experience building diaper factories, and so uh, it was just me and another guy, two other engineers went to Japan, and all of our workers, whole community did not speak English.
Oh, wow.
So the other engineer and myself, we sort of like hieroglyphic type thing.
Yeah.
We had to draw pictures. We found one man who had previous Japanese military experience,
Oh,
so he spoke a little bit of English, very broken English. He was like our mediator.
okay.
Um, so we were able to put these factories just by hand inspiring, drawing pictures, demonstrating, acting. Uh, that's why I became an actor. Right? Learning how to act is literally showing how to do it through acting. So I know it's possible to be done to cross that language barrier, but the most we can learn, or as much as we can learn of the native tongue, the history. I learn a lot from my taxi drivers. I always talk to them when I get in the taxi. I ask questions. I see things. I notice things. Different things that are culture related here. That's different from the United States, and it helps by them explaining those things. It helps me to understand the mentality and the social aspect here, and it's helping me to blend in and understand, because I've seen some things where I'm like, whoa, that's totally different than America. Just the opposite. Women walking around carrying the children, and the man's carrying the umbrella. Why isn't the man carrying the child? And the taxi driver explained to me that's how they're brought up, that the woman does everything, and all the man does is go out and work and come home and get catered to, and the woman does everything.
Even if the woman works as well, she still
has to do everything.
Yeah.
So we're not used to that, and we got African women who ain't tolerating that kind of thing either. This is a share thing, 50-50 kind of thing,
We, us, ours together.
Yeah. But, not to say anything negative about our beautiful African women. It's just that's how we grew up. That's what we saw mama doing. That's what we saw grandmama doing and granddaddy doing, So even though some of those things might have been far left, or, considered today as being partly wrong, we have to be able to adjust. One thing God gave us is a brain and common sense. If something ain't working for you, you have to have the fortitude and the tenacity to change it. You can't continue to walk in muddy water when right across the street is a clean sidewalk. So cross the street, use common sense, use the Spirit of God. We have to use discernment. We're all Christians in this community. The Holy Spirit gives gifts. All of us have different gifts. Utilize those gifts. If you don't know what your gifts are, pray about it and ask God to show you what your particular gift is. Because I guarantee you, we don't serve a God that makes mistakes. He prepared each one of us in a certain area before we got here, before we got on those planes, before we had the idea God put in our spirit to come here. We were prepared. He wouldn't bring us here, because I know my God, without each one of us having some type of preparedness for this journey. He didn't bring us out here willy-nilly or blind to anything that we may face here. We have a God that's going to take care of his children, his remnant, his church, who we are. Just have the faith to believe, because faith without works is dead. You have to believe in it, trust it. Read the book of Hebrews. That's the faith book. Read it. All the patriarchs and matriarchs of the Bible, it's in Hebrew. So read that book, study it, meditate on it, build your faith, strengthen your faith. And like Peter, you'll be able to walk on water. It took faith. Christ is that. If that's you, Lord, beckon me to come unto you on this water. Peter stepped out of the boat on pure faith. Nobody else followed. Peter stepped out there. He trusted and believed. He began to sink when he took his eyes off of Christ and focused on something else. That tells us, stay focused on Christ. Stay focused on the mission. Stay focused on the work that he's prepared for us to do. Don't be like Lot's wife and look back. You know, for whatever reasons, it was something in Sodom she was missing. She looked back after God ordered them not to. So we can't be like Lot's wife. We've left America. That's behind us now. Let's use the skills that God has given us as a corporate village and take care of ourselves and of our own.
I wanted to basically, Cassie, you were saying like if God does something new or something different, or it goes into, more importantly, even more the reason. And I think I came back on when you were speaking this, Lorraine, saying prayer and fasting. Even more important, we have to be able to perceive the new things that God is doing in our life in this journey. So we have to, more importantly, definitely carve out that prayer time, like that time sitting with him. Now, no quick 30 seconds, few minutes, like we really have to carve out the time because we're on uncharted territory. We are, that's the point of, I feel like he anointed us to be able to do what we're doing and to be the pioneers. And so even more, it's crucial because we're many waters away. Okay. And in order for us to discern and to be sensitive, the only way we can do that is having that time. Ever so often, so many hours, I hear like the different chanting, or I think like they have prayer times and you can hear it. It's on the speaker and do you just hear music? I think I told you, Lorraine, like when I do hear it, sometimes I will I will blow my shofar, not to them, but if they're that dedicated, and I think my landlord told me, yeah, they're upping their prayer time even now 5 times a day, then that means that we got to get busy. We got to get busy. We got to up our time. Maybe collectively we start having 2:00 prayer, or I don't know, something like that, or whatever, where we stop what we're doing and we pray together. It don't have to be together, but we just honor that time because, again, we know we need the prayers of the righteous. This is why where we're from, it's sinking because it's not enough prayer cover. But one of the things that we learned, we saw that, this is what happens when you turn from God. It's not about government. It's not about talking negative. This is the truth. This is the downfall. Why do we know this? It's in the word. He said what happens. And now we're reaping the benefits of lawlessness. We're reaping the benefits, that's not benefits, of our children getting killed, our children getting hung from a tree, severed body parts, all kinds of stuff, heinous crimes, things that's being done to children. a lot of things. So if we can learn, and we know that if we stick with him, if we stick with the Most High, then we can be stronger together. He's going to pour out those blessings that we don't have room enough to receive. Nobody will be in want. But yeah, we have to have that time with him to, like when Christ will go to the mountains, we got to go to our own mountains and we got to go power up, because we can't do this without him. That's what we got to do differently. We can't get as busy as we used to be, to the point that we cut that time out, because we learn, because it can easily happen again. We can go right back into those old ways. But if we can make it a point, because there's other cultures that are dedicated, and we got to be just that dedicated, because we know what's coming. So
Okay, even with that, do you, how do we prepare, or what are we doing with the time right now? While we're here, what is it? Are we here to buy land? Are we here? How are we preparing right now for what's coming? Is that, are we preparing, or, because I see, a lot of, we doing a lot, we're busy, but are we really preparing for what's coming? Do a lot of us believe that are here, that we're here for a reason? We're here to prepare. We're here to, do we do we really understand why we're doing this, why we're here? You understand what I'm saying? Do we really know why? And what are we supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to be buying land? Are we supposed to be building schools? Are we supposed to be, buying, we got the food, the canned goods and all that stuff? Because a lot of people are not doing that, from, the looks of, just looking around, um, you know, it- what are we supposed to be doing?
we're supposed to be doing all now. I We would be delusional to think that, oh, we just came up like the world is the world. And that we're not comprehending what the words. Okay. Now we jumped off of that because there are those that understand where we came from and have a place at the end, because it already said it was about that. Okay. No, we don't know timing. Again, where this small window, we have that time to start asking questions, start getting educated. Um, some of the things in the trainings that we going back from, we still need to implement them. Okay, we still need to build our church. We're the church. We build our church. We still need the storehouse. Okay? We still need to prepare to sing. If you say not a lot of people know, then guess what? That means that we have to tell one to another. We have to spread that word about what we're all about. Come together, work out outside. Yeah, yeah. It's the beach. Paradise. I get it. But you can't eat the beach. Okay, you can't. You got to be able to live. So we were gonna have to other those wellness checks like that. Our conversation of substance. Our conversations have to be. I know it's always sick of me, talking about it. Well, look here, we got a little to come together, create collectively get land, because again, connections. It's collective. Not gonna be somebody. Oh, I get more than you. No. right? If I have a pizza and it's two of us, that means I get half, you get half. Okay? It's not, oh, this is business, this is this and that, whatever the case is, it's loving your neighbor as yourself. And if we lose sight of that, and this is serious, if we lose sight of that, then here comes the flesh, because now someone else has hurt feelings. No, it's not about just about feelings either, because we have to get up out of our feelings. But we have to have an understanding and know that if we are under the Most High together, we're all answering to Him. We're all yearning for holy and righteousness and keeping His commands. Then it shouldn't be any problem. It shouldn't be, I do this undercover and I'm hiding my hand and saying, oh, I gave this and I gave that. When no, that's not the truth. Because the one knows the truth. Okay? Anybody can do anything and say anything to me. But y'all knows, and that's why we need to have integrity. Integrity. Because it's going to take trust, guys. It's going to take trust to put our resources together and to go in. We can take it down together easily than just the two of us, right? We can get more collectively. Oh, well, you only put in 5 cents and I put in 150. Well, if that person only had 5 cents, then that's what they had.
That means they gave their all.
They gave their all, you know. We got to think about it, you know, the parable of the vineyard. It didn't matter if everybody was working all day in the vineyard and then people came in at the end of the day, they still got their wages. Okay? And so if we are under the Most High and this is how He rolls, then we need to roll just like Him. Okay? Point blank, period. This is the only way it can be done. I just got real passionate, and I am passionate about this, you know. But this is what's real. It's the only way we can do this, or we're going to end right back up with my four no more, that dumb mentality, and we're not going to have anything. And guess what? Before you know it, all we're going to have is looking at the beach that we can't eat because we didn't do what we're supposed to do with the time that we had to do it. Period.
Ms. Lorraine, you have comment?
No, I'm in agreement with it. I was thinking, you know, as they were speaking about, you know, this process too, you know, allowing ourselves to grieve. I think I'm just now at 4 months in, just now. Well, no, actually, maybe I'm 5 months. I don't know. It's getting close here. Just now seeing a turning point of not grieving loss, you know, that just because the Father told us to do this and some people are just ecstatic to get out of America, it wasn't like that for me. And so I may be odd man out with every single person in our expat group, but that just wasn't the case for me. This is not something I would have chosen for myself. I'm not an island girl. I'm a mountain girl. I garden and I bake bread and all the things, right? So, you know, this was, it wasn't for me this, I miss America so much, and I'm still not in that place. And in fact, I shared with my daughter the other day, I said, you know, there's no reason really for me to come back except for you guys. I said, otherwise, there's nothing there. I don't know what I would be coming back to, you know, outside of, you know, obviously I've had the discussion on past live streams where, you know, I will probably need to do that just to do paperwork for my son. But that's not the society of America. That's going back because I have to handle business, right? But allowing, I've had to, you know, kind of pull back in some ways too with my own personal mental health, just because I have to get with the Father to allow myself to grieve whatever it is that's going on inside of me that's not right or wrong, not comparing myself to someone else's journey, and just letting me be who I am in my own past and my own present and what God is bringing me to do. That's why I was kind of mentioning to you just a little while ago that, you know, I don't have an agenda anymore. I had one, No, I don't, because I don't know. I don't know. I think we can come over here and say, yeah, I'm going to build a business and all the things. I think it's prudent to have that business started before you get here and well established. But it doesn't mean that if you come here that it won't flourish, and it's not that. But also our visas, we have to be careful with our visas and what we're allowed to do. There's also other things that we're legally bound to here too, that may tie us a little bit with maneuvering. For me personally, I didn't really have a window open slightly. Maybe it was a window of acceptance. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But when I started fellowshipping with other Mauritians who are believers, and that was a little bit of a turning point for me. Prior to that, though, I was like, I have absolutely no clue. I don't even know what this is. I mean, I knew biblically what this is and what the transition is and what prophetically is going on. But to all of your points, we as Americans come over here with a lot of healing that still needs to be done, and I'm still seeing that. And we have to get past that part, that mental health piece. I don't know what the answer is because, I'm going to be transparent. A lot of us are in different places spiritually. And we have to let go of that old stuff, and just let God do new. And I don't have the answers, and I don't claim to, but I know that I'm seeing something different. And it's humbling for me as God's daughter to humble myself in front of his face, because I just read yesterday, his thoughts are unsearchable. So for me to have this whole agenda about what I think I'm doing based on a second Exodus prophecy, the audacity is how I see it. The audacity that I would think I had all these grand plans, because I might, and he might allow for them to manifest, and he might not. And so I'm just really sitting with him and what he wants to do, and just not judge him. Right. And be critical of my brothers and sisters that are here and what place that they're in, because all of us are in different places doing a lot of different things. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but that unity that Toya and Al are talking about needs to happen. And that's going to have to be a Holy Spirit transformation.
Right. I am one that I move in pain. I think it was the other day, Cassie, I think we were talking on the phone for an hour, and I'm like, we just had that good girlfriend talk. And I was like, oh girl, I was in pain. I know that I was definitely in some serious pain, and it's real because we do have loved ones back home, and that's why it's like we have to have that girlfriend talk. It's like you share with me, I share with you, and then now we just take that word and we build each other up, so that we can put on our what they like to call big girl panties and big boy shorts or whatever the case is, and move through it. Because yes, pain is real, and our Father is so good because he knows what we need. He knows how to put people in your life to just kind of help you through it. And it doesn't mean that it's going to fix it. It doesn't mean that it's going to go away. I do believe that it can subside. Loss is loss, hurt is hurt, pain is pain, but this too shall pass. And we feel the same. There's nothing back home but our children, our children. And it makes me want to just choke up. I'm going to try to talk myself through before I get choked, but other than that, that's the only thing that's there. I mean, if somebody can come up with the solution and how we can drag everybody here that we want here with us, then but again, that's all we can do is just pray about those things. And hey, if we have to go back home to handle business, we know that It's not about the land. It's not about here and being homesick at all. You know, uh, because I know we're grateful to not be there, but we do have strings, and we have to work through that. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna have to counsel each other. He says, share one to another. We are gonna have to share. Not one person is, I don't care how many degrees you have, how many papers you have behind your name. We're all human beings, and sacrifice. We took the sacrifice. Sacrifice hurts. Sacrifice is hard. Sacrifice is painful because it's sacrifice. When you fast, that's sacrifice. Sacrifice is hungry. Okay. So it's you would be not truthful at all unless you were single and had no family, no children at all. And, you know, but other than that, for those who have family and children and loved ones, that's painful. It's very painful, especially because not a lot of them are built the way that the Lord has built us to be able to do this kind of thing. And so they don't understand. And so now you're dealing with not only your own feelings, because again, we're here and we're making moves because of obedience, but it's not because of you're neglecting. And so now you're having to deal with people who may feel like they're neglected, you know, and now you're taking on those feelings as well. And so now we have to then truly sit down with God so that He can help reappropriate, what box this needs to go in. And I don't know about you guys, but when I have that time, it helps me to feel a lot better. It's there, but it's like we have to think about the ultimate, the one that sacrificed for us.
Yeah.
And then when
Yes.
I do it like that and I read, then I'm like, all right, this ain't nothing. My bad, Lord. I'm sorry. I know I was on this soapbox, and I'm gonna keep on focusing because I'm your soldier. I'm your soldier. I'm hurting. I got tears running down, but I'm gonna keep on plowing. No one understands. Yes, everyone thinks that you're crazy. Children think that you neglected them and things like that or whatever. But at the same time, it's like we are teaching them who comes first. That I wouldn't make this move. It's all about Him. And sometimes, guys, as pioneers, it's a teachable moment because sometimes they don't get it right now. And I always tell my children, I'm not raising you for today. I'm raising you for tomorrow. Okay. One day, when you are mature and not into self, right? You will look back and think, this is how we have to teach our children that God comes first. He comes first. He's first and He's last. And that's that. No matter what, we have to forsake all others and we have to follow Him. So we just don't have to wipe it up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, or cry through it. Sometimes it feels, journal, cry through it, and okay, you get done crying. Okay, now
Mhm.
let's go ahead and let's go to the beach. Let's go and get rejuvenated. Even with that said, one more question, and then we're gonna do closing remarks. Do you feel that this is the final step? Do you believe that that He's gonna, bring us into another area, or do you feel that this right here is the final step for the
Mm.
expat?
I just spoke.
Uh,
Too.
do you mean in Mauritius specifically, or just coming out of America?
I think
No, I don't. Mm-mm. I think that some are here and going to be transitioning And I know this too because I've had conversations with some others that they know that this is somewhere they were supposed to land for a moment, and that the Father's bringing them into other lands and other things. And I think that's 100% okay. It's just that's why I'm so glad he's the boss. And so, he gets to take care of each of us the way we need to be taken care of. But no, not for everybody, I don't think. No.
Right. I'm in agreement with you, Lorraine. Listen, I can be talking all this stuff. We need greenhouses and land and things like that. And again, that is just because we know the world is the world. But he may not want us to build here. He may want us to just find community and to be ready to listen for the next step. I know I was talking to a good new acquaintance of mine, and she called it a Goshen. And I say that I think it's a holding tank. I can't call it. Can you guys call it? I can't call why I feel what I feel, but I feel like this isn't the final step. The gathering,
I could feel it when I got here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's things here that doesn't coordinate with what we know of Yah. And I feel like I'm being careful with my words. Are y'all feeling me? We know that there's still spiritual work to do on this land. There's also things that don't coordinate with what we are accustomed to, and that we know that God is in dislike about, So sorry about that. That's way in there. So either those things are going to be taken down, or he's going to be moving us to a holy and righteous place.
Well, I think, and I feel in my spirit, that when you're walking in the Lord, he's your everything. He guides you. He lights your path. Okay. Nothing happens by coincidence. People that cross your path, you cross other people. It's all ordained by God. I think, and I feel that if this is just a holding place, I don't know for sure yet, but I know that whatever opportunity we have to take it. God may make this the place. He may make this the place where the milk and honey is. We don't know. We know that he called us to subdue it. The land, he didn't give it a name. It's the whole earth. Okay. So, our Father has cattle on 1,000 hills. This could be one of those hills. We don't know. So let's just walk in faith, not by sight. Do what we know to do and what we're called to do. Let God handle everything else. Just be obedient and walk in the Lord and walk by faith. And we will start to begin, if we haven't already, see things manifest. I've seen it manifest in a month that I've been here. God has brought people in my life who's been talking about different businesses, agriculture, car rentals, trike rentals. I mean, I was in contact with someone on the internet in China, asking about a trike, things of that nature, where, it's if you're being obedient in the Lord, He's going to show you things. He's going to do things. He's a shaker and a mover. Just give him time. Be patient. We're the newbies here on the island, and a couple other people. So we're still adjusting. We're still seeing. We're still praying. We're still, waiting on God to give us the final say so, the final okay. It may come a year from now. We don't know. God made a way for me to have a retirement visa. That's 10 years. So in that 10-year time span, who knows? Who knows? We want to be entrepreneurs. We want to own. We want to have land. Okay. God made me a hunter and a gatherer. Okay. I was just talking to someone yesterday about deer season. It's deer season. I know how to shoot. All I need is a freezer. Okay. I can kill it, I can field strip it, and I can cut it up and freeze it. Is me and Toya gonna eat all of that, Bob? No. That's for the village, that's for the community. Fishing. I love to fish. I'm looking at boats. So somebody's got to take over and do that part. I'm stepping up wherever I'm needed. That's where I'm going. So I think it's a day by day thing. And we just move in faith. Move self out of the way, get our feelings out of the way. I know it's hard, but it can be done. Ask God every day, Lord, what would you have me to do? What's my purpose? What's my calling? Let me be able to serve you to the best of my capacity. Let me be able to serve your church to the best of my ability. Because it's not about us. It's all about him. So we have to move self out of the way, regardless of what we're feeling. I know it's hard. We're human. But we serve a God that's bigger than anything and everything that could ever come upon us. And he's going to take care of us. I guarantee you. He has this far. He's not going to stop now.
The righteous is never forsaken, nor are our children begging for bread. So that takes care of us. That takes care of our children.
And the village.
And we just have to believe in that.
Yep.
And with that, we closing remarks. We're gonna let you guys do your closing remarks, and you can reintroduce your ministry again and closing remarks. And whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first this time, ladies.
Good.
How about
Thank
that? I'm going to reiterate a little something about our last visit. Okay. We were talking about men in their role. God was just putting in my spirit how I grew as a man of God. When I was a child, growing up in my father's household, up until I was 16, my father was an ex-Marine. But when he got out of the service, he became an alcoholic. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because before he passed, he converted, changed his life from Muslim to Christianity. My father would whoop me. I was the oldest child. He would whoop me for what my siblings did, my younger siblings. I was the oldest. I was in charge. He acted like he was still in the military, running a platoon. And when he would whoop me, I would cry, of course. And he would whoop me even harder and tell me, don't cry. He said, real men don't cry. So that's the mentality I grew up with. But when I became a Christian and I learned about Jesus Christ and how Jesus Christ cried, he wept. Okay. I knew then and only then that a real man does cry. We as men, we are so, especially African American men, are so bound up in tradition and in pride and in self and culture to where we don't look at God as our everything. He was humble, Christ. He's humble. He's compassionate. You know, I mentioned that last week. The humility doesn't make you weak. That makes you strong. I always think about praying prostrate, laying flat out on the floor. Because God told me, in order for you to go higher in me, you got to be willing to go lower. If I could get any lower than prostrate, I would, but I can't. We men, we have to humble ourselves. We have to humble ourselves to the word of God and to God and be obedient and subservient to him. Once you bow, coming from the military, I understand authority. Higher ranking officers could tell me what to do, or anyone that's a lower ranking officer. So there's authority in the military and in the church. So we have to be able to bow down and humble ourselves to the authority and have humility and compassion and love for anyone that's your level or below, and even people above you. That's not weakness. To me now, I know that's superiority. You're superior if you're able as a man to humble yourself. There's no shame in that. You know, brothers, there's no shame in that game. Humble yourself. Husbands, humble yourself and know that you and your wife are one flesh. And if God called her to do something, he's calling you too. It's not that God has to always reach out to you first because you're the head. The final decision may rest on you because you're the priest and protector and provider of the household. But be willing to listen. Be willing to see. God says to be able to listen and to see what the Spirit is saying to the church. You're part of the church. Your wife is part of the church. God speaks to you. He speaks to her. You're one flesh. Come on, get it together. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. God makes it to where a child can understand it. You know, such is the kingdom of heaven as these little children. That's a mentality to, as a child. I saw a child, give a perfect example. I saw a little kid, couldn't have been no more than 2 years old, holding his mother's hand on the escalator at the mall. This child was jumping down the steps, holding on to the mama's hand, jumping down those steps on that escalator, not knowing, not fearing, not caring, because mama was holding my hand. That if she let go, he's done. Wow. But he didn't know that. Blind faith, blind obedience, blind love to his parent. Christ, God the Father, is our parent. That's how we're supposed to have our faith and our love and our understanding, blindly. Because he said it, he will bring it to pass. Because he does it, it's going to hold and ring true, because heaven and earth will pass away. We all woke up this morning, so the earth is still here. So that means God's word is still reigning. It's still there. It's not going anywhere. And he promised to take care of us. And as my wife said, according to the word, and your seed, your offspring, down 1,000 generations. What we do today, dads, fathers, husbands, it will affect our lineage. We can't be selfish.
Yes.
We can't be prideful that we only think about ourselves and how we feel in the moment.
Yes.
Think about your children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. My great-grandfather was cursed. He was a pastor, but he was sleeping around in the church. And I ain't ashamed to say it. Just to give you an example, he was able to be cursed because he opened that door of sin. And I've seen it reap through my family. But guess what? According to the word, it stopped with me. Because no man can curse what God has blessed. So when God blessed me, the curse stopped at my family. So, fellas, I'm telling you, God made you the head for a reason. Blessings were passed down from the Old Testament all the way down. The fathers would lay their hands on the son's head, the oldest son, and give them the blessing. The enemy is coming after us the hardest. We have to be able to stand in the gap. We got to be the watchman on the wall. We have to. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you love your family, you love God, you love your children, you love your wife, step up in the gap and cover them with prayer.
Yes.
Cover them with your body. Be willing to lay your life down for your wife as Christ did for the church. So that means you don't divorce. You don't separate. You don't leave. You don't put your feelings above God's. Above God's. God said the man, the husband, will leave his father and his mother and cling to his wife, and they shall be one flesh. God didn't say the man will leave his children or his Lamborghini or his mansion. It's not about or yourself. It's not about self. It's not about material things. It's all about God. Seek him first in his kingdom, and what? He'll add everything else that you need. You want to be you want your wife to be submissive if she's not being submissive according to the word, not your slave. Then you have to pray about it. Women, if you want your husband to be a man of God, pray about it. Stand on that prayer. God hears the prayers of women. Ask Mary. Ask Sarah. Ask Elizabeth. They listen to, God listens to women. God is known as the breasted one. Remember? And not that he has breasts like a woman, breast as in saying he's nurturing, he's loving, he's kind, he'll hold you. Men, you're being held. Stand up. Stand up for what's yours. Don't let the enemy take it away from you, because he will.
Yeah.
He's the accuser of the brethren. He went up and walked around heaven with the angels. God asked him, what you doing? Did you see my servant Job? God asked him. But it tells you that the enemy can go back and forth through the heavens. Okay? He can see you. You can't see him. And the only way we can defeat the enemy is with the Holy Spirit. With Christ. He's already defeated. But you got to be walking in your spot. You got to be the head of your family. If God didn't want you to be the head man, he would have made you a woman. That's the bottom line. He put you in that position for a reason. You have the inert ability to be the head as Christ is your head. That's the only way it's going to work. And that's my closing.
All right, boy, you got you another topic. Real men don't cry.
There you go.
Go ahead. Oh, Lorraine or Pastor. Go ahead.
I think he did enough for both.
Both.
Oh, real men cry.
Yes. Lorraine, you have last words.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody. You know what? I wrote a book, right? And I keep meaning to show the book, and I just keep forgetting this. And I was talking to my daughter the other day, and she was, mentioned the book, and I was like, oh my God, I keep forgetting. And she watches, and she goes, why you don't never? I said, because I keep forgetting, and I have it sitting right here. I wrote a book, right? This is the workbook, and it's called A Mother's Love. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's called A Mother's Love. And I keep forgetting to advertise my book. I did the book, I did the journal, and I also did another journal, and it's called a gratitude journal. And I just want to put that out there because I keep forgetting it. And I'm like, oh my God, my daughter's, on me. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. I said, I forget, but I did write it, and it took me literally. It was all about parenting, raising my girls, and it took a while to write it because I was raising them and writing it at the same time with each stage of life. And it took me 20 years to write it. I started when they were babies, and every year I would just write it, just according to raising them in the different scenarios that would come up and how I handled it. But so that was, that's my last words. But thank you. I appreciate everybody for coming. I appreciate you guys for taking time out. This is a big deal, and I think people need to understand that it's a lot to moving abroad. I don't think people even understand the it's a lot. It's not just moving and that's it. No, it's other stuff that comes with it, and things that we never have thought about. Dealing with the mental health part of it, and that's the biggest part that I want to really concentrate on is the mental health part of it because that it's a lot. It's not just you packing a bag and leaving. You've left everything. You know, and you've starting all over at 60 sometimes. Okay, at 40 or 50. With kids. And without kids, but with husband, without husband, whatever. But this is a really big deal, and I don't really think we understand the deepness and the gist of really how it plays on a person's mind and how it really plays on a person's life. Because a lot of times you're doing stuff because of that. Because you had to leave your kids, or you just having a bad day, and you don't even know why you're having a bad day sometimes. And then and it's related to your child. You miss your child, you miss your daughter, you miss your grandkids, you miss, and not even understand that that is relating to that because you'll wake up and go, man, I feel a little off to that, and it's because of stuff that you left. And this is stuff that sometimes we don't even put those pieces together. This is it's almost like we're mourning here. We're mourning our kids and mourning relationships and mourning stuff that that we left behind. And that's a really big deal. But I appreciate you guys for taking the time out to come and explain and talk and trying to reach the people to help us to understand what this thing is really all about. What are we supposed to be doing while we're waiting? What are how we put things in place? What does that look like? And are we putting the right pieces? Are we doing it in a timely fashion? This is a big deal. But I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for coming on. And with that said, we're gonna see you guys next week. We're gonna do the same time, 1:30. For anybody who wants to join, we appreciate the ones that's gonna join after the live's over, who's gonna see this a little bit later in the day, because I know it's really early, super early in the States. But like and share as you come in, and catch the next live for us at 1:30 our time. Probably I'm thinking what 6 or 7 their time. That's early, but we appreciate them for tuning in eventually. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love
Have
you
a
guys.
good one. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Better.
Yeah, you gave some good fire. And I'm glad Lorraine